You know, these guys would have had in the last 2 weeks us throwing open our borders and literally hundreds of thousands of people coming without any kind of security check or documentation.
And that's not true, Mr. Harper.
Stephen Harper telling us exactly what was going to happen back in 2014. Now, it seems that nothing ever gets happening in Canada. Nobody does anything about an issue until the Quebec French start complaining about it. Well, here's Premier Francois Legault saying that Quebec cannot handle an influx of 190,000 asylum seekers and is seeking to redistribute them to other provinces. He says some premiers are open to the move. I'm sure they are. I'm sure they're absolutely open to it.
How much success did you have last night speaking to the other premiers trying to convince them to take on more asylum seekers?
But first, I want to keep private discussions private.
Right.
But I think it's clear that it doesn't make sense right now. We have 190,000 asylum seekers. We cannot afford housing reason. We don't have enough teachers. We don't have enough nurses. And the future of French on the island of Montreal is in place. So we really need to first decrease this number. Of course, some are open to transfer some asylum seekers in other provinces. Some are not, because most of them are not qualified. So other provinces, they would like to have only qualified immigrants.
Qualified immigrants. Well, that's what people have been asking for all along. Why can't we vet them? But this is the case in Canada, where it doesn't really ever hit the national stage until Quebecers start complaining about it. But again, here's Francois Legault talking about Ottawa. Said there were 2 million temporary immigrants in Canada. That's close to 6% of our entire population. Contrarian putting on X today. Well, a few days ago, actually. Is it any wonder housing and healthcare are broken while the debt skyrockets?
Trudeau is not specific in, you want him to cut the number of temporary immigrants in half, and he says, we don't disagree with the idea, but he doesn't give you any numbers. So you're disappointed?
Yes, I'm disappointed, because I think it's about time that we put targets with figures. And the problem is urgent. So we cannot say we'll continue working for months and months about the principles. It's about time we put some targets.
And there is still $750 million on the table, though.
Right. So we were asking for $1 billion, so they offer $750 million. So we'll take the money, but we'll continue to ask for more.
And what is Ottawa's total number of temporary immigrants? Yours is 560, and you say that the two governments don't agree on the total number. What's their number? Their total?
I asked them, but I was surprised. He told us 2 million in Canada. So, but I didn't study the figures in the other province.
No, people's response to this is, I think maybe it's time we close the borders, period, pause immigration until the rest of Canada is stable. I mean, I don't know if we'd have to take such a drastic measure. I think that we still do need some immigration. I'm talking doctors, you know, doctors, construction workers, perhaps, people who are capable of doing things, not temporary students that are coming over on the predetermined idea that they're going to get a permanent residence or they're going to get citizenship in Canada with no skills. And this is exactly what's happening in Canada. And, you know, even Pierre has been chiming in on this, and well, in French on this, in this particular occasion, but saying that there's no possible way. He says it's impossible to bring in 1.2 million people into the country per year while only building 200,000 homes.
Poilievre s'engagerait à des chiffres au moins là-dessus.
Oh, ça va être beaucoup plus bas, surtout pour l'immigration temporaire. C'est impossible d'inviter 1,2 million de personnes, nouvelles personnes au Canada chaque année lorsqu'on bâtit 200 000 logements. C'est impossible. Il y a pas de place. Le Québec est au point de rupture.
Well, I'd argue that Quebec is not the only ones at the breaking point. The rest of Canada is truly at the breaking point. But Pierre Poilievre hasn't only been speaking about this recently. He's actually talked about this even before he had his makeover. Here he is with his old look with the glasses and the whole bit. And he's talking about the Century Initiative.
Yes, Mr. Speaker, after 8 years of this Prime Minister, everything is broken. But instead of fixing the basics, he's focused on another grand utopian project, that of his friend Dominic Barton, the multinational CEO, former ambassador to communist China, who helped bring about the opioid crisis that is savaging our working class families, has come up with a bright new idea that he's going to triple our national population to 100 million. Mr. Speaker, we don't need any more utopian schemes from globe-trotting millionaires and multinational insiders. What we need is some common sense for a change.
I'd agree with that. I think we need a little bit more common sense. Now, you might say, oh, well, this is just a big conspiracy theory. This is something that, the conservatives have cooked up, and they're throwing this at the feet of the liberals to say, you gotta do something about this, and you gotta answer to this. No. This is actually from a project called the Century Initiative. Yes, they only have 23 subscribers. It's funny because this is how things work. We were talking about the World Economic Forum years ago, and they were sitting here with a YouTube channel with no subscribers, no views, and that was what was going on. But it was real. It was real. And, now it's on the world stage. People are talking about this. People are concerned about this because it's a real thing. But yes, again, here it is. The Century Initiative, here's their goal to get us to 100 million people in Canada in a very short order, in a very, very short amount of time. And last time I showed this, they copyright striked my video. So they copyright claimed my video. So I'm not going to play this, but I will leave a link in the description down below. So you can go watch the video for yourself if you're concerned that this is a conspiracy theory. This isn't true. This is something absolutely true. This is what they're trying to push for in Canada. And yes, they talk about a lot of other things like infrastructure building. They talk about all these other things. But the one thing that they've been able to implement, that's right, the one thing is bringing in millions and millions of people into this country, and especially in a time where we can't handle it. We're in an economic woes. And what are they doing? Are they bringing in the best and the brightest? No, they're bringing in unskilled students and laborers that are just taking up entry-level positions in our country. And the worst part is they're not vetting them. They're not, and Mark Miller actually lied in a conference saying that they do vet them. There are criminal record checks, but then here he is admitting that that was not true.
There was recently a discussion about the importance of getting police certificates as part of the visa process. Well, we all know how unreliable at times, depending on the country, the police certificates can be. And if we were to rely on a country that is sometimes not the most, I would say, a reluctant partner, those certificates often become quite questionable as to their reliability. So there's a multifaceted way that we employ and that our enforcement agencies employ to track people. But regrettably, at times, people do get in and they do commit crimes. So
yeah, that's right. They regrettably get in and they do commit crimes, especially when we're not making efforts to make sure that criminals aren't coming in. But as this is all happening, Justin Trudeau is saying, check your bank account because the government is giving you a couple of cents back of your tax dollars. He's going to sprinkle that into your bank account. So why don't you go check your bank account? And it was Pierre Poilievre that put this montage together of Canadians in the real situation on the ground.
Check your bank account.
Everything goes up all the time, and my fixed thing don't go up. It stays the same. So how do you supposed to live on money when you got none?
Check your bank account.
Sacrifices might have to be made in the lines of being, can we afford it? Can we pay for it? Can we continue on this path that we're on right now?
Check your bank account.
Whatever fits the budget is whatever I'm eating for the day.
Check your bank account.
Taxes are constantly going up. That's just more and more money out of our pocket. Takes away from our kids, takes away from everything.
Check your bank account or watch the mailbox for the coming days.
Oh, yeah, that didn't land very well. That didn't land very well at all. Canadians are suffering, and it's not helping that we're bringing in more and more and more people, unskilled laborers, to come in and fill the entry-level positions in our country. But that is what was predicted in 2014 by Stephen Harper during the debates that Trudeau won that election. And here we are 9 years later, and well, it all came true. Anyway, leave a comment in the comment section down below. Let me know what you think about all of the things that we talked about in this video. Do you think immigration needs to be on a pause? Do we need to pause it completely? Do we need to stop it? Do we need to, what do you think should happen? Anyway, leave a comment in the comment section down below. Let me know what you think. And of course, we'll see you in the next one. Keep on trucking.